As you are researching using our databases, you may come across an item that is not currently held in our collection, but that you would like to use in your own research. When this happens, you still have the option to request this item through an interlibrary loan. An interlibrary loan is where you let us know that you would like to have access to that item, and we request it from a library that does have it in its collection to loan to us to loan to you for a limited amount of time. If you are a distance student, you have the option to use interlibrary loan to access articles and chapters of ebooks. If you are an on-campus student or live close enough to come visit our physical location, we can also request entire print books for you. Unfortunately, due to copyright, we are unable to request entire digital copies of books or ebooks. Today, I will be going over how to request these three different types of resources. The first one we'll start with is requesting a print book. To do this, we're going to go ahead and type in the title of the book. For this example, we'll go ahead and use a book called Jesus Through Middle Eastern Eyes. And then to find it quicker, we're going to go ahead and say we are looking for a print book. We're going to add the author, who is Kenneth Bailey. And here we found the book, so we're going to go ahead and click on the title. Under access options, if we had access, that would show up here with this button saying full text instead of the request through interlibrary loan. Or if it were a print book, it might have that call number of where we would find the book, but it does not have either of those options. So we're going to go ahead and click the request item through interlibrary loan so we can still get access. Here, we're going to double check that this is the correct information. And then we also have some important notes reminding us of that copyright policy of only being able to get entire books in print, not as a digital copy, as well as a reminder that there will be a $5 fee if you request the book and then decide not to pick it up within 5 days of being notified that it is ready. If you request it and then come pick it up within those 5 days, there will not be a fee. We do want to make this free to you, but to help cover the costs of shipping items back and forth, if you're not going to use them, we do have this fee in place. And then there's also a reminder that we do ask you to limit your item requests to 3 items at a time, just so that way we have the time to fulfill items from other people who are also placing requests. You can supplement these requests, at least in terms of articles, by checking Google Scholar, but do try to limit yourself to 3 items at a time, and we will try to fulfill them as quickly as we can so you can request some more. And then we have some additional information over at our LibGuide, the link of which can be found here. But once we've reviewed those important notes and we've double checked that the item is the correct item, we're going to go ahead and fill out our contact information that it's asking for down here, which is just going to be our name, our e-number, and then from here, we're going to go ahead and use our Concordia email like it's asking for. It is important that you use your Concordia email due to copyright reasons. We're not supposed to be sending items out to personal email accounts. This is supposed to be the Concordia email. So I'm going to go ahead and fill mine out. And then I notice a lot of people will sometimes have little typos. Make sure you are double checking that your email is spelled correctly so that way we can get you your item in a timely manner. But once you've double checked that, we're going to go ahead and move down to the comment section. If you're requesting the entire print book, you don't have to, or an article, you don't have to type anything in here. We're going to go ahead and say not applicable since it is a required box though, just like it says right here. And then when we're ready, we'll go ahead and hit submit. And here we have this confirmation number. I like to take note of this as it's helpful for us if you have this number, if you want to inquire and get any updates on how the request is going, as when requesting print books, it can take up to 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes for a library to agree to lend it to us, and then for that item to be mailed to us. So it can take a little bit of time if you're doing an entire print book. Um, but otherwise, we're good to go. We have the confirmation. If you were only going to request a chapter of a book, you could do the same thing of hitting that request through interlibrary loan, double checking all this, filling out all that same information of name, and then your Concordia email. And again, making sure it is spelled correctly. And then from here in the comments, if we needed a digital copy, we would go ahead and provide the chapters and or page numbers if at all possible. Uh, Unfortunately, there's no way of directly checking the table of contents through our catalog. So what I like to do is go ahead and copy this title and then send it to Google or Amazon and try and find the book that way. So that way I can do the little sneak preview and find that content page and see which chapters look like they would be the most helpful for my research. I already checked earlier, and for this example, we're going to go ahead and use chapter 22. And then if I had the page numbers, I would also add those. But as long as you've sufficiently indicated to us which chapter it is you need, we can kind of help supplement the rest of that information as best we can. And then we're going to double check everything's correct. And then we're going to go ahead and hit submit. And then here we have a new request ID that we'll go ahead and take note of and save that for our own record as well. But that is how you request a chapter of a book. If you needed an article, you could go ahead and type in that article. For this example, we're going to switch items and say we were looking for an article called Hero and Lender, C.S. Lewis. And we are looking for that article, not a book. So we're going to narrow that down. And here we have it as this top option. So just like before, we're going to go ahead and click on that title. Click request this item through interlibrary loan. Type in all that same information. And then again, Concordia email. And from here, we're going to go ahead and put are not applicable because it is an article, so it doesn't have chapters, and we can request the entire article. And then we'll go ahead and hit submit again. And here we have our request ID just like before. Articles, slightly less important to have the request ID since these, along with the chapters, can usually be filled faster in around a couple hours to even a couple weeks or 1 week. Just again, depending on how long it takes for another library to agree to send it to us. If you were using the EBSCO to do your request, it would be approximately the same process of if it was the book, you'd go ahead, hit request through interlibrary loan. Same information, name, e-number, Concordia email. You can even add the department, but that's not a required field. It's not going to make a difference. And then we have that comment box if we needed to request the chapter or if we wanted to add any clarification about wanting the entire print book versus just those couple chapters. We could add that here. You could also switch the article title to the chapter and then copy this book title into the journal title to help differentiate so that we know whether we're trying to get a digital copy of a chapter versus the entire book, and then you'd hit submit. Or if you're requesting an article, it's again, same process of double checking this information is all correct. It should pre-populate all this information, but just making sure that it is the article you're looking for, and typing in name, number, and then our Concordia email. And again, double checking everything is correct. And then we're going to go ahead and hit submit. And then here we have all that same little confirmation message. This one is not going to give you a request ID. That will come up later, but just kind of saving this information for your own record can be helpful. Again, not necessary. We can also look it up by your name if you needed any updates on that. But that is how you do an interlibrary loan request. If for whatever reason you don't see the request through interlibrary loan button, you're welcome to just email us directly at librarian@cui.edu with the information for the citation and or the permalink for the article or resource, and we can request it manually on our back end. Just making sure you include name, e-number, and your Concordia email so we can get all that sent off to you as soon as we can. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching and happy researching.